So good afternoon, October the 28th, 2013. This is CISG113, Section 1, Information Security and Privacy. This is week number 7, day number 13. So let us get started. Okay, great to meet you and welcome back. So this is CISG113, Section 1 in week number 7. So you see that if you look at the calendar, this is the last week for learning contract number 2. And starting from this Wednesday, you will see the submission link down below the bottom of this your photo sign. Okay, you are allowed to sit by your team today. Okay, sit by your team. And we're getting started for this week number 7. Okay, week number 7, Information Security and Privacy. If you look at the theme, this is the last week for self-regulated learning with the themes ethical issues of hacking and cracking and information fraud. So we're going to get started with things like this. So we would like to start today with a number of episodes, but instead of doing a discussion per episode, I would like you to go through 3 episodes before we come to the discussion using the first half an hour. Okay, in the second half an hour, I'm going to answer questions from each team because I believe you should have some questions concerning the submissions of the learning contract number 2. And in the third half an hour, you're free to carry on with your discussions here, and you have to make sure that you will get your minutes done, okay? The same for this first day, so that we will have almost 1 hour's time working together. So let us get started with today's. You see that what I need to do is I need your help to distribute some paper here, because I was delayed by the previous class. So, could you help distribute some paper on each table so that you have some papers to write notes on? Okay, so yes, go ahead to each table. Yes, come back. So we are getting started now. Yes, some paper on each table. All right. So we are going to go through 3 episodes of video. And then we'll come to 5 minutes discussions, and the video is about ethical hacking, cracking, information fraud. Okay? So, and then you have 1 more table to go. Thank you very much for Ian's help. Okay? Let's come to the first. You should have watched this video before.
Lesson 1. The art of deception. The honest reality about your network is that in spite of all of the incredible effort that your network administrators put into protecting it, all of the firewall and antivirus software, all the additional security measures, there is one link that is always the weakest. And that link is you. So what is social engineering? According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, it's an outside hacker's use of psychological tricks on legitimate users of a computer system in order to obtain information he needs to gain access to a system. Or it's getting needed information, for example a password, from a person rather than breaking into a system. Or social engineering involves gaining sensitive information or unauthorized access privileges by building inappropriate trust relationships with insiders.
This is Calvin Manet. He's sharing his personal tricks in using social engineering techniques before to get access to unauthorized information.
And we have the door codes all the different offices in Los Angeles. And we just let ourselves in, and we're roaming around the Hollywood CO, kind of on the 3rd floor. And then all of a sudden, this big guy, security guard, approaches us and goes, "Excuse me, yeah, do you have the ID?" And I go, sure, no problem. And I go to my pocket and I say, oh, I must have left my ID in the car. I'll go get it. I'll be right back. He goes, no. He goes, who's this guy? And I go, well, he's just a friend of mine. And I'm going to take him on a tour. He's never seen the central office. He goes at 2:30 in the morning. I said, yeah, we just got out of the movie. And my friend is always wanted to work for the phone company. And so I figured I'd just take him on a quick tour. And he goes, where do you work? I said, well, I work in the Cosmos Center in San Diego. He goes, who's your supervisor? And I told him the name of the supervisor. Incidentally, was the correct name of the person in the San Diego Cosmos Center. He goes, no, you guys have to come with us. So he escorts us to the elevator, and I know on the 9th floor is the switching control center, and that's where there's people up there because that office is manned. So you end up getting escorted up to the 9th floor, and there's about 5 or 6 people around, and the security guards told me the story. I found these 2 guys roaming around the building. This guy doesn't have ID. Let's find out what's going on. So one of the other supervisors, not a security guard, he goes, what's your supervisor's name? And I gave it to him. I said, well, listen, we can't wake her up. Because look, it's 2:30 in the morning. If you want, I'll go to my car, we'll go get my ID, and I'll be right back. Of course, I had no plans of coming back. So he says, no, we're calling your supervisor. So he picks up a book, some sort of intercompany directory, and thinking, well, they don't list home telephone numbers in there. But apparently he had found some sort of notes or whatever, listing the supervisors on the phone. So he calls the supervisor, 2:30 in the morning, Saturday. He goes, listen, I found one of your employees, Steve, running around one of our offices, and he says he wants for you. Oh, you want to talk to him? Sure. So he gets me the phone, and I go, hey, Sally, how are you? I'm really sorry that you were woken up, and I normally would never take a friend on a tour of the central office. And she's, as I'm speaking, she'd say, who are you? Who are you? And I go, yeah, in my way Tuesday, well, definitely, we still have that meeting for that report, correct? And she goes, who are you? Who are you? I'm pressing the phone in my ear. So, and she said, you don't listen to my side of the conversation. And I'm like having a calm conversation with her. And I said, listen, okay, I'm just going to take my friend around for about 15 more minutes and we'll leave, and I'll see you on Tuesday. And I went over and I walked about, it was like about 2 steps, and I hung up the phone. And I go, are you satisfied?
Here are some comments from notorious hacker Kevin Mitnick. He said, the weakest link in the security chain is the human element. And according to a March 2000 article in the Washington Post, he said, in more than half of his successful network exploits, he gained information about the network, sometimes including access to the network, through social engineering. He also said, you could spend a fortune purchasing technology and services, and your network infrastructure could still remain vulnerable to old-fashioned manipulation. These are the simple definitions for what a social engineer does, but how is it we are so easily tricked? Well, social engineering is not a new thing at all. In reality, it's probably as old as speech and goes back to the first line itself. Social engineering is still successful today because people are generally helpful, especially to someone who is nice, knowledgeable, and/or insistent. And remember, social engineering cannot be blocked by technology alone. In fact, Kevin Mitnick, from his book The Art of Deception, brings out that people inherently want to be helpful and therefore are easily duped. They assume a level of trust in order to avoid conflict. It's all about gaining access to information that people think is innocuous when it isn't. Yes, it's true. We want to believe people. When we hear a nice voice on the other line insisting that we help them, or when we hear that they can help us, we want to listen to them. We respond. It's part of our trusting human behavior. Well, it is a fine quality to trust others, but we need to know when certain things should send up red flags in our minds. So even simple information that we think is unimportant may be used by a social engineer to hurt us or our company later on. So the key to protecting ourselves and our company from social engineering is to become more familiar with some of the tricks involved. and to have policies in place that prevent a social engineer from getting through our weakest links, us.
So ask yourself, in 1 minute's time that I'm going to give you, what exactly is social engineering? Which word would you use to describe social engineering? Okay? So put it down in your piece of paper, and we are going to carry on with the second episode. Okay? Still very much about social engineering. We're trying to build up the knowledge here by saving some time in between. So 1 minute, all right? 1 minute. What exactly is the idea behind social engineering that's introduced in the very last episode, the video? Definitely a video that makes use of a figure called the notorious hacker named Kelvin Benet. He was very famous in the 1990s, but he was caught and put into jail for almost 6 to 7 years before he was released, and now he's a famous consultant, all right? Okay, now pay attention to who is Kelvin Benet.
Kevin Mitnick was probably the world's most notorious cyber thief when he was captured in 1995 and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Over a 13-year period, Mitnick broke into the computer systems of more than 35 major international corporations and other organizations, exploits that made him the FBI's most wanted computer criminal. When we first sat down with Mitnick in January of 2000, just before his release from federal prison, he told us that he saw himself not as a devious criminal, but more like a merry prankster.
I saw myself as an electronic joyrider having a great time on the information superhighway. I felt like I was like James Bond behind the computer. It was a big game. I was just having a blast.
Did it ever occur to you that perhaps what you were doing was wrong?
Oh yeah, it was an invasion of privacy. Going and getting access to other people's information is obviously a gross invasion of privacy, and it is wrong.
And that didn't bother you?
At the time I was doing it, no.
What Mitnick was doing was breaking through the highly sophisticated computer defense systems that companies use to protect their trade secrets, which he repeatedly stole. His list of victims reads like a who's who of big business. They include Motorola, Sun Microsystems, Nokia, and software maker Novell. All told, the companies estimate Mitnick cost them $300 million in damages.
I believe I caused some damage, but nowhere near that number. I was an accomplished computer trespasser. I don't consider myself a thief. I didn't deprive these companies of their software. I merely made a copy without doing anything more with it.
You stole it.
I copied it without permission.
That's stealing. That's stealing, Kevin. That's stealing.
I didn't use it for financial gain, nor did I cause any harm.
Beyond his skills as a computer hacker, what also made Kevin Mitnick so effective, according to the FBI, was his phenomenal ability to obtain confidential information from corporations by phoning unsuspecting employees and simply asking them for it. It's known as social engineering.
How would you describe social engineering?
Well, basically lying on the phone, manipulating or conning information on people over the telephone.
So you were a good gunman.
I was successful.
Mitnick was hacking and conning his way into corporate computer systems 10 to 12 hours a day. And while he held down legitimate jobs working with computers, he says hacking was like an addiction, which eventually became the most important thing in his life.
At one point, Kevin, you got married.
Yeah, 1987.
Didn't work.
Well, no, I mean, initially it was great. I loved her very much. But, what really broke up the marriage was I was too, I kept going back to the hang. It became a higher priority.
By the age of 25, Kevin Mitnick had been arrested 3 times for computer fraud. In 1989, he spent a year in jail. He was then placed on probation in order to receive counseling, attended a 12-step program for his apparent addiction to hacking. It didn't work. He continued hacking. A warrant for his arrest was issued, and he became a fugitive, the FBI's most wanted cyber criminal. For more than 2 years, no law enforcement agency could catch him as he hacked his way across the country, assuming new identities.
But eventually, the FBI was able to track him down. And in the middle of the night on February 15, 1995, a team of FBI agents knocked on Kevin Mitnick's door, where he was living under an assumed name.
I think the guy goes, "Are you Kevin Mitnick?" I go, "No." I said, "Go look on the mailbox, you got the wrong department." And then he brings out this wanted poster of Kevin Mitnick, right? And he goes, "Well, isn't this you?" And what am I going to say? Yeah. I go, "Well," I said, "the nose looks a little bit the same, but everything else definitely not me." I handed back the poster. He goes, "Well, tell you what we're going to do. We want to take you down to the FBI and fingerprint you and determine whether you're Mitnick." And I said, "Great, what time do you want me to show up in the morning?" And they go, "No, we want to take you down."
So the social engineering skills hit a brick wall, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So where's a good place to stay?
Soon after we spoke to him in January of 2000, Mitnick walked out of jail a free man after having served almost 5 years. But the government wasn't finished with him yet. We'll tell you more about that when our update continues.
The next update is sponsored by Zelnorm. Ask your doctor about Zelnorm.
Millions of women have tried fiber, even laxatives, but they didn't go far enough.
So you're going to send some American addresses
You
for
have
this particular YouTube video.
discomfort, bloating, and constipation. You may have IBS with constipation. Fortunately, there's a proven medicine that works at the source of the problem to relieve all 3 symptoms. Prescription Zelnorm. Unlike fiber and laxatives, only Zelnorm helps coordinate the nerves, muscles, and fluid in your GI tract so it starts functioning more normally, and you can start feeling better. Zelnorm is only indicated for women. You should not take Zelnorm if you have a history of diarrhea, kidney, liver, or gallbladder disease, intestinal blockage, or adhesions. If you get new or worse abdominal pain, blood and stool, bad diarrhea, or diarrhea with cramping, pain, or dizziness, stop taking Zelnorm and tell your doctor. Ask your doctor about getting relief with Zelnorm. Zelnorm, be your side again.
As part of his probation, Kevin Mitnick's access to computers was severely restricted. His career prospects were uncertain. That is, until the federal government came looking for him once again. But this time he had no reason to run because they wanted his help.
My name is Kevin Mitnick. I'm here before you today. I was released from custody in January of 2000. And just a few months later, I was invited to testify before Congress.
What you're telling us is that all of our systems are vulnerable, both government and private.
Absolutely. And after that, a lot of businesses, I guess from seeing me on C-SPAN, were interested in having me speak about security.
And so a new career was born. This is a video Mitnick uses to market himself to potential clients.
A lot of you probably already know about my past. I was involved in computer hacking. The purpose of my public speaking is to raise awareness to what the security threats are, how the bad guys operate, and what you can do to protect yourself. There's the old adage, it takes a thief to catch a thief.
Mitnick maintains he no longer does any illegal hacking, but that hasn't stopped him from playing a hacker on TV.
We had Kelvin give some access to a bogus website.
Appearing on an episode of Aliens. And in real life, Mitnick freely admits that he's still breaking into other people's computer systems. But these days, he insists it's by invitation only. and it's legal.
I'm an ethical hacker today. And what I do is I essentially get paid to hack ethically to find security vulnerabilities in my client systems and notify them so they can fix them.
No longer on probation, Mitnick is not only busy consulting and speaking, he's also written a book on computer security and is working on a second.
And I'm going to get thrown up. Took a little while, but I finally did.
So now you got some ideas of this guy called Calvin Mitnick, and you also have tied together some ideas to learn in the previous several weeks: vulnerabilities, assessment, ethical hacking, and today's social engineering. All right. So I would like to give you 5 minutes time to discuss among yourself at your table. We are going to start at 4:30. Okay, your table-based discussions. And then I'm going to proceed to tell you something about the second learning contract, particularly the wiki. Okay? So go ahead, put together your understanding of social engineering in the context of African hacker after hearing the story of Calvin Mitnick. Okay? In the meantime, I'm going to take attendance to save some time. Albert is here. Anna is here. Horace is not here. Lexi, yes. Long Hong, thank you. Catherine, yes. Fancy, yes. Yin, yes. Tom, yes. Charles, yes. Key, thank you. Layla, thank you. Patty, yes, thank you. Galen, yes, thank you. Sophie, yes. Chalito, yes. Wang Lei, thank you. Joyce, yes. Magnolia, yes. Very good. Roy, thank you. Everybody is here except for Rains. So we finish with the attendance call and continue with your table-based discussion, please. You have 4 more minutes. And after your 5 minutes discussions, I will show you the last episodes of social engineering that happens at Starbucks, okay? And you will be very much amazed when you got calls like this, all right? So keep on discussing, exchanging information with your peer partner and with your table peers. I'm going to send out a teacher's message for this week, probably by tonight, after gathering information from the teaming emails, all right? Okay, let's get started with the 1 minute sharing on social engineering based on the 2 episodes. So may we start with Sophie's table, Joyce, Magnolia, or Sophie? Actually, the first table is the most convenient one because you can just pick up their ideas. You ready? Not yet. Okay. Can you pass the microphone to some table? Yes. Yes, I think that is very good. Key and K, Lexi, yes. So, could you tell us something about your understanding on social engineering at this point? You have 1 minute's time.
Yes, and when I see the video and I know a person, his name is Kevin.
Kelvin.
Kevin, and he's a famous hacker.
Okay.
And he used it to break into the Las Vegas. Las
Okay.
Vegas switch web system.
Okay.
And he describes another technique that could allow someone to access your email if they know your phone numbers.
Okay, that means he has a very good technique of using phone call
Yes.
to ask for information which is not supposed to be released.
Very interesting.
So he called it the art of deception, right? He's always tricking people to give him some information. Okay, thank you very much, Kate. Did you pass the microphone to one table of your choice? Okay, Tom. Or Patty? Not yet? Okay. So, yes. Yes, this one. Kathleen. Oh, thank you, Anna. So you can add some more to the story. It's okay. Let me help. Use this one.
Kevin,
Yes.
he's a famous ethical social engineer.
Ethical social engineer. Okay, very interesting term. Yes. Could you tell us something more about that?
He's famous. He used to hack into many systems. He used to look at other people's private things.
Information.
And, yes, and he was arrested for most of it until he became the most wanted cyber criminal.
Yes.
And then after that he became famous, and then now he is being paid to actually hack into someone's private information so that he can help them find out their security vulnerabilities and
Okay.
help them improve.
So he's now turned into an ethical hacker. That means he's doing his job professionally to help different companies to discover the vulnerabilities of the systems.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Anna, could you pass the microphone to a table of your choice? Okay, here we go. Charito?
As far as we know,
You need to turn on the microphone.
as far as we know, within social engineering is a person trying to use many kinds of methods to get information about people or computer. The methods are communication, just like
Yes.
mobile phone or email, sham and cheating. The person is just not a hacker. They also they just copy the information. They don't steal the information. Nowadays, social engineering also success in everywhere in our living. We must pay more attention on it. Yeah.
Thank you, Charito. So you used the word copying is very interesting. They're not stealing something. Actually, they're trying to use a lot of human weaknesses in order to make the best advantage of the communications to get by what we call the security. So may I pass the microphone to this table? Okay. Yes, Sophie? Are you ready? Thank you.
Social engineering in the context of information security refers to take advantage of psychological features of people to trick or get a copy of people's personal information.
Yes.
And because by using this, I guess social engineering takes advantage of the weakest link in the security chain is the human element. And there is a person called Kevin Mitnick, and he is a very famous social engineer. And he describes social engineering in his book. I guess the book.
The art of deception.
The book, I guess, is very famous, called The Art of Deception.
Right.
And he described social engineering vividly in his book.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah.
Yes, could you pass the microphone to the very last table, Sophie? Patty's table. Tom, Patty, Lena. Who's going to speak? Lena, thank you.
Cousin, my name is Leila, and social engineering reflects that hackers use social engineering to break into our computer network, and they try to get the confidence of an authorized user. For example, hackers try to gain access to your computer, get your information, get users' list, passwords, and network information.
Okay, Patty?
I'm Patty, and Kevin Mitnick, he is a computer security consultant, and he points out that it is much easier to trick someone into giving a password for a system than to spend the effort to check into the system. So we need to protect our computer security carefully.
Okay, I very much agree with you, Patty. So thank you very much for all the table sharing. Now let us go back to see an example of social engineering in action. Now please pay attention to the following video because it's largely conversations over the phone. Okay, and you can hear the hacker trying to make use of social engineering skill to manipulate the people on the other side of the telephone. And you can see and hear the story unfolding. Here we go. Starbucks.
Hi, this is John from the corporate office of Starbucks.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. I was just calling, we were having problems with people calling in pretending they're the corporate office, and we just wanted to let you know that if anyone calls in and says they're with the corporate office, just not to give them any information and not to believe them.
Okay.
Because apparently these people have been calling in and, just making prank calls, I assume.
Okay, great.
Okay, and who's this?
Okay, thanks for letting us know.
Sure, who's this I'm speaking with? So your last name?
REMONT.
Okay, then what's your employee number, or I guess we can look up by your cell phone number, whatever phone number's on file with us.
Wait, you just want my partner number?
Sure.
13.
Okay, but do you have a phone number? Because that's the easiest way to look up your file here. And you remember that part where I said not to give out personal information to anyone pretending to be the corporate office?
Yes.
Why did you just give me all that?
I don't know.
I'm a prank caller.
Because I figured the person telling me that wouldn't,
Now I have your phone number and your spelling of your last name. I already found your Facebook. And now I'm just going to be stalking you forever.
Okay.
Don't you feel dumb? Do you feel dumb? Yes or no? Answer. How do you plead? Dumb or not dumb?
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 1543 is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Hi, this is Chad from Verizon Wireless, and I'm calling for Grace. And I was just calling to let you know that we have this problem where people are calling and pretending to be with Verizon and asking for information, personal information. I just wanted to warn you not to give out any personal information, and I'm going to call you back pretty soon and get your address from you. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh, hello, is this the manager?
She's actually not in right now. Do you want to leave a message or figure to help you with anything?
This is Brian from the corporate office. I need to know how many pounds of coffee you have currently there at the store.
How many pounds are here right now?
Yeah. Just an estimate.
I mean, that's probably going to take some time to count all the pounds of coffee.
Okay, well, I'll hold.
I'm sorry, with that?
I'll hold.
You heard?
I'll hold. You heard? I said I'll hold. This is Craig from the corporate office.
Okay,
Or maybe I said it to somebody else.
do you know what store number this is?
Oh, no, which one?
I don't know, I'm not... You know what, could you call back in a few minutes?
Are you going to have all the pounds ready for me?
I mean, probably not in a few minutes, but actually have to double check some stuff first.
Can you tell me what color your cash register is?
What color?
Yeah, it's important. It's for the inventory.
You know what, can you actually call me back in a few minutes? I'm sorry, I can give you all this information in a few minutes.
Oh, sure. But before you hang up, can you tell me how many light bulbs are in the ceiling?
Okay, bye.
Thank you for calling, how can I help you?
Hi, this is Daniel from the corporate office.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I was calling to let you know that we've been having a problem with some, I guess, scam artists or pranksters or something. They've been calling and pretending to be the corporate office and asking for information. And just kind of calling to give everyone a heads up to not give out information over the phone.
Okay.
And what did you say your name was again?
John.
John, and the last name? And what's your employee number?
Hold on.
That's right,
Trixie's
manager.
I'm the manager on duty.
Okay.
Thank you, Brand.
This is Steven from the corporate office. I need to get John's employee number.
From which corporate office?
The Starbucks.
Okay, which location?
It's for the payroll.
Okay. I just need to make sure that we've scammers follow us sometimes, so I just make sure that you're actually who you are.
Oh, yeah, no, I've heard about that.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Do you know the program number? It's a 1-3.
Oh, okay. Great, that's all. And who's this I'm speaking with again? And what's your employee number?
1-3.
Okay, and how many light bulbs are in the ceiling? We need to know that for our inventory.
The long bulb?
Yeah, well, all, like...
All of them? In the whole store or out in the cafe or?
Oh, just in the whole store.
Okay. Do you need separate counts or just total number of light bulbs?
Just total number, like right now off the top of your head.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20.
I can't believe you're doing it.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, probably about 50-ish.
Okay, and how many pounds of coffee are there right now? gallons of coffee do you have there currently?
Do you see the meaning behind that?
I have no idea, a lot.
We're going to need you to count the individual beans.
Yes.
Uh,
Could you get right on that now?
yeah.
We'll hold.
Yeah. Can we get your employee numbers again, both of them, please? I forgot them.
Yes,
Hi, my name is Roy. I'm coming out here with the corporate office. We just wanted to let you know, did you guys get the memo about people calling in and, there were a bunch of pranksters and fraudsters calling around trying to get employee numbers and personal information from, unsuspecting employees. Did you guys get that memo?
Yeah, someone that can answer your question better than I can is actually in the bathroom right now.
Oh, well, you could, this is store 96, right?
96.
Yes, sir. It should be on the wall.
Actually, it's 76, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, it's marked wrong here in the spreadsheet for some reason.
Oh, okay.
No, that's the house.
Well, I have to stop here because altogether they have 26 minutes of this kind of phone call conversations. Did you see how they're going to pay the tricks? Well, definitely we're in the east, they in the west. Okay, normally we can pick up the phone like this when you speak in English. Sometimes it's very hard to really handle, but more and more we see people in this region, particularly inside mainland China, they are calling to make this kind of social engineering phone call to steal or fish for information. And they keep doing it in such a way that as if they're really doing a proper job, okay? And people on the other sides of the phone, when they listen to things like that, and when they trust the phone call in this case, in a sense, they're willing to give up some very interesting information. And because of that, it's easy for us to become prey to those hackers. So, typically speaking, when people use social engineering, they more usually use phone call, okay, to trick people. And you can even see it in commercials today, in TV stations. They were calling, I'm calling in for a particular hospital, informing you that your son had some traffic accident. Now he's in the hospital. We need you to come to sign for his operation. And then people got taken back. And all of a sudden, when they believe that they're trusting you, they're telling you some tricks. You have to go that first, and then finally come to provide some information that is very sensitive. So I'm going to stop here for social engineering. You just have to read some of the readings in the read, and then watch some of the video, and try to put together a story. Now I'm going to use the 15 minutes left here to show you that this is the wiki that you need to make the best use of in the your environment. You will see that under week number 5, 6, and 7, okay, this is 7, you have something called a pair collaborations wiki for week number 5, week number 6, and week number 7. Okay, the same wiki for week number 6, okay, and the same wiki for week number 5. Now, this is what I'm going to do. Each one of you, when you have the computer, click the wiki link now. Click the wiki link. All right? Then you will be able to get into the wiki of your pair, okay? Something like this. So, may I just know which pair number is Patty's pair? Pair number 9, okay? Let me just go to pair number 9. All right? I have all the pairs here as a feature, so I go to pair number 9 now. So in pair number 9, I'm going to create a page, okay? The most important thing under the wiki is you have an environment for you to create a system of pages, web pages. So I'm going to create a page under pair number 9. So this is the page. For example, I say CISG113, section 1, information security and privacy. Now I just type in something. In the wiki, the two major actions. One is called edit. As you can see, I'm clicking the edit button. And the second thing is called save. I'm going to save this into this page. So you can see that now under this page I have CISG113 Section 1 Information Security and Privacy. Now I would like to continue to edit it. For example, this time I would like to add here 9. Okay. So I say here 9, I provide some spaces because spaces are very important. So let us say I need some informations now. So I come to this page. I go back to number 1. So here we go. I go to the page, comparing informations. So this is the parent informations. I have to collect pair number 9 informations from here. So let me look up. Here is pair number 9. Okay. So I'm going to copy this and go back here. Right now I have pair number 9's informations. So the next thing I need to do is I'm going to create individual space. Because I need to provide a space for A, Patty, B is Tom. Okay, I'm going to create a page for Patty and a page for Tom. So what I need to do is I'm going to put Patty in a 2 square bracket, and I'm going to put Tom into another 2 square bracket. Now remember, the square bracket is very important. Okay? So then I'm going to create some common space. For both Patty and Tom. Okay? Now look, I'm going to save this. After I have saved this, you can see both Patty and Tom's turn into red. Red means it's a link. This link, when I click into it, it becomes a new page. So if I'm going to do something with Patty's, so I'm going to create a page for Patty. So I'm going to click Patty's, and then it said Patty. I say create a page. So right here, this is Patty's page. Okay? This is Patty's page. So after I create Patty's page, I'm going to save it. So this is Patty's page, but how can I go back? Okay, you must have a way to go back. So the way to go back is you must do edit again. To go back to where? You go to administrations. So you list all the pages here. So this is the page that we need to go back. So I have to go back to edit. I'm going to add this page here. Okay? So when I save it, I got a link. When I click this link, I go back to the original page, which is Patty and Tom. Okay? So now I'm going to create a page for Tom. I copy Tom's informations. I click Tom. So this is Tom. I say create page. I paste it here. Okay? So again, in Tom's page, I'm going to it's okay. Let me just make sure that I do that. Let me save it first. And then I go to the administrations. I go to this all page. I also copy this link. Okay? This is the original link. And I go back to edit. Now I'm back to Tom's page, right here. Alright. So I'm going to save this. So in Tom's page, I got a link to go back to the front page. Okay? So I'm going to write something on both Patty and Tom's page now. I click this link. I say this is a common space. I copy this here. Okay? After I copy here, I save it. Remember, you add it, you save, alright? So I need a link to go back. I click administrations. I say these all. So I could go back to the front page. But what if I want to go to Patty's page? Okay? What if I want to go to Patty's page or Tom's page from here? So I need to save it first. I go back to the administrations. Okay? Now I want list all. When you list all, you have both Patty's and Tom. So now I copy Patty's. I go back to edit. Here. I paste. Patty's here. And then I save. Remember, edit, save. And then I go to Tom. Now I copy Tom's link. I go to edit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paste Tom's here. So now, from this common space, after I save it, I can go to the original front page, I can go to Patty, and I can go to Tom's. Okay? If you don't believe it, when I go to Tom's, you become Tom's page, and then I go back to the front page. What it means is, with this system of Wiki, if you want to create a page, you put the name of that page in a square bracket, double square bracket, and you save it. The name will become a link. And you go into the link, you continue to type in things. After you type in, you save it, and then you create a link back to the front page. And what it means is, it's an organizer. You can create as many pages you want. You can also create pages for your meeting minutes, create pages for your report, create pages for your journal, create pages for your discussion forum. And that is the meaning of Wiki. Okay? You can use it to type up your report here, okay, with two different topics, so two specific pages, one for each topic. So I just use about 10 minutes time to show you this trick. The most important thing and the easiest one is, you go to the editor, edit, you want to create a page, you put the name in double square bracket. You save it, and then you incrementally create different names. And these are actually pages again. Okay? So now I've already done this. For those of you who have the computer with you, I suggest you do something just as what I do to make sure you know the technique. And if you do not know it, ask me. Okay? In the meantime, you have at least 30 minutes time to do a table-based discussion, which will become your meeting minute. Alright? So go ahead. Try to use it. You did not have a computer. Alright?
Yes,
Yes. No, for the secondary contract, just the final report. Yeah. Of course, the learning contract, you already have to put general discussions for the second is okay. So actually, the secondary contract, the first two reports, that's the official report. Alright, it's okay? Yeah. Yeah, sure. If not, step on just go. I remember I had very good. Make sure you got your discussion minutes going. Right now, I'm helping my student to use the wiki under the Moodle environment, because with the wiki, when they enter the learning contract number 3 next week, the whole team could use it to do collaborative writing. And so in the second learning contract, what I require them is to get a feelings of what is meant by wiki, and they have some little practice to copy and paste the report in a second learning contract back to the wiki so they know how to use it. All right? Is it okay? Now you need to read a page. Type in anything. Okay? And first of all, start with typing something, which is the front page with the link to your team. Okay? This is what it is really meant to contract. The front page should be your cover page. And the front page is your one table content. Okay? And this table content or the major sections of your report. Right? Very good. You have 20 more minutes to use this. Very good. I can see a lot of you are already online. Well, for those of you who have been paying attention on the particular soft skills we are helping you to pick up throughout the learning contract, this is week number 2. Okay? If you look at week number 2, presentation skill is highly encouraged in weekly sharing. Inferencing skill is what you need now in your team to facilitate one another's collaborations. Problem-solving skill is how you can manage to get the work done within the deadline. Project management skill is if you were assigned a specific task to do, that's your project. And time management skill is what you have to learn to put your time in the best conditions you can use, okay? So those 5 important soft skills are what we highly recommend to you. You have to go back to review them. Let me just frame one for you. It's the time management skill. Hopefully you can get it. Time is precious, don't lose it.
I have a young family, and balancing hard work with other commitments takes organisation and a sense of urgency. The pressures, timescales, and priorities in the workplace are very different to academic life, and they can change in a heartbeat.
It's true. However organised you think you are at university, start using the basic tools. Use your calendar. These will be great disciplines, good habits to get into while the pressures are different.
The trouble is, most people think that they're already good at time management. And the only time they find out they need help is when it's too late, when something's going wrong. So I live my life using a simple 4-box matrix. Urgent and important, urgent and not important, non-urgent and important, non-urgent and not important. Deal with things in the urgent and important, but don't let the non-urgent work creep into the urgent box, or you'll spend all of your time firefighting. In fact, I try to finish everything a little early to give myself a bit more breathing space.
I get my breathing space in the evening. I use it to plan my next day meticulously. It helps me sleep soundly, knowing that, in theory, I can get everything done. However, lots of things at work will be completely out of your control. Control the things you can, manage other people's expectations, work hard, negotiate, and ask for help.
I also have a very strict rule for emails and messages. If I can answer within 30 seconds, I respond immediately. And if not, I carry on with the work I was doing. Again, you can spend your day reacting to things and not actually getting any work done. Working in teams, particularly international teams, can bring added pressure as you wait for other people. You have to take this into account. I look at my calendar at the beginning of every day, so I know what time I have for what tasks. The only non-negotiable should be client service. It's vital that you manage everybody's expectations around delivery. When you know that your client takes absolute priority, everything else becomes easier to partition.
Mistakes? Yeah, one springs to mind. In my first week I had a power cut at home. My phone didn't charge and I missed a meeting. In my first week, I didn't have a separate alarm clock. We all live and learn.
Of course, getting things right first time saves a lot of time in the long run. But remember, if you slip up, apologise, deal with it, and try to make sure it doesn't happen again. We're not robots, we all make mistakes. The best people learn from those mistakes.
So the advice is, now that you have the time to manage your work in class as a team, don't waste it, okay? You have to use that precious time together to plan your work ahead. Because starting from Wednesday this week, I'm going to release the submission link. And officially speaking, this Friday is the due date. But you can always count on me, I give you 5 more days. But don't do it in the very last 5 days, because you cannot handle all the pressures cooked up in that steamboat, okay? So you better do it now. So ask me a question if you have, okay? Any aspect.
他成個貼咯，呢度個或者個字法，跟住我哋發3個，跟住你哋要換我哋3個，跟住我哋要你哋4個，好嘅，咁會聽我先得，我3個。
So I hope this time given to my student during the class time do work together, they should be able to learn how to organize themselves and discover what they can do together and what they need to face after when time is short and the deadline is coming. I hope they learn how to manage the work and then produce the meeting minutes, which is basically the organizers of the work. And I hope that with today's class, with more time and to organize themselves and learn the good lessons of time management. Okay? So I think that's it for today. It's to this first day for CISG113, sections 1 Information Security and Privacy. Stay tuned.